CLT FC Fan TV for everybody. I don't know. Oh, and Lee and JT and Jorge Gonzalez Top Bin 9D. Oh, snap. I rhymed them all. Welcome, everybody. I know you're stoked as I am, as we are, because the season has started. And if you were there on that game on Saturday night, it was so great. Tonight we're talking about a new player. Tonight we're talking about a bombshell being dropped by someone at the Atlantic. We're also just talking soccer, future, Atlanta FC, Atlanta United, and Charlotte FC playing. And we have a special guest on tonight from Atlanta Fan TV, Mr. Mark Nichols. Take it away, Lee.
What's going on, man? What's up, Top Bin?
What's up? How you guys doing today?
Yeah, good, man. So,
I think
Mark's
real calm.
Real calm?
Yeah, I'm chill. I'm so chill.
Are you? Yeah, man. So, a couple of things came out the club today, right? We got the Derek Jones from the Houston Dynamo. He was signed today. What's your first initial thoughts on that, Top Bin?
My initial thoughts is that I think after preseason, Miguel noticed that he needed some midfielders with more physicality. And this guy's good depth for that. I mean, he's a workhorse, and I think he's good depth for the team. And so, I mean, based on what we have, he's just filling a need versus somebody that could be there long term. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's how I see it.
So
yeah, I'm with you.
When does he come to the club officially? He got signed.
They announced it officially today. Yeah.
I'll be curious to see if he'll be at the training ground tomorrow. I'll definitely be looking for him.
But do you think he'll play on Saturday?
If he trains this week.
You think he'll play?
If he trains this week, yeah. I don't see why not.
So who gets dropped?
Well, I don't know about starting, but definitely playing.
Yeah, I mean, okay, I see what you're saying. Talking about bringing him off the bench or something. That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. Yeah. So apparently, we paid $250,000 in GAM for him today, but then next year we get $50,000 back from Houston, and then if we sell him on to anybody outside of the MLS, Houston then gets a 20% fee of the sell-on fee. So
seems fair.
Gotta love MLS, man.
That seems fair, though. When I trained,
fair. You know, they had a bill due or something, man. You know, and they had to pay it. So they needed that
only
extra
in
50.
MLS do you hear that where you give a little bit more because you're loaning some money.
That's basically what they did, right? And then they're gonna get some sort of 20% back or something, man. I don't know, man. It's I don't know how all that shit works for real, but
who does?
Anyway, what's that?
I said, who does know how it works? Even everyone I've talked to, it's like you might know a little niche of something, but you don't know. Anyone that really knows everything has to be very valuable in the front offices.
That's right. We love the shipping department. Just shout out to the shipping department. Yeah. So the other thing that was big was the Athletic article today, and it was. I'm just gonna. What's up, man? How's it going, Mark?
What's up, man?
Doing all right?
Not too bad. Apologies for being a couple minutes late.
Yeah, you know how those folks down in Atlanta get.
That's true.
It's the hustle. It's the hustle, man.
It is the hustle, man. We appreciate you coming on for sure.
I had to lose points with my wife to be like, no. You got to put the kid to bed right now because I got to go on this right now.
That's right. Way to put your foot down. Yeah, JT, what are you wearing right now? Heidi wants to know.
This is an original coat that has old patches from NASCAR from back in the day. This is a mechanic's coat. So I just wear this every once in a while. I like to pimp it and pop that collar.
That's right. Yeah. So, yeah, Teddy, man, you're right, man. This is an accounts league. We've always caught it. You know, if you made a Monopoly game of the MLS, right, it would never end. So we were just talking about this signing, Mark, that we announced today, the club announced today from Houston, right? I don't know if you saw that, but
I did not see that actually.
yeah. So we got what's his name? Jones from Houston. What's his first name? Where is it? 25-year Jones on contract. Oh, Derek Jones. Derek Jones. So we got Derek Jones. But then we were segueing, we kind of run that into the ground a little bit, but now we're talking about the Athletic. They popped out an article today, right? And you know, I was reading through this, right? And it says, and I quote the Athletic here. It says, asked by a reporter about his expectations for the 2022 season following an open training session at Bank of America Stadium on February 10th, Ramirez gave what might end up as the MLS quote of the year. And basically he said, we're screwed. Now I got a couple of things to pick apart about that, just that one paragraph. I mean,
Right.
A reporter? Come on, Top Ben.
Yo, apparently I'm a reporter. I wear many different hats, bro.
Yeah, you do. Good for you, brother. Good for you.
Hey, you don't have to go to journalism school to be a reporter, man.
Yeah. So, man,
I've spent the last hour talking to a couple of people who know some of the sources that gave some information in that article, and I got some interesting stuff off of it. But keep going.
You want to? All right.
Look at that grin on his face.
Are we gonna talk about it, or are we just gonna you gonna mention it, or I'll go through the rest of this article, right?
Yeah,
So
go through the
ABC
rest.
Top
I'll see what I can say.
Yeah, so I mean, basically, he said, right, let's wait and see how the roster builds out, right? And from there, when we finish, I'll answer the question, tell you how I see things. But right now, he said in Spanish, right, we're screwed. Now, you know, basically, we were talking, or he was talking about, like, I think he was kind of upset about Darwin at the time, right? Because that deal fell through. He made some points about, you know, some other deals that didn't go through that they were kind of counting on. You know, so there was a lot to around that, right? But it definitely Top Ben 90 there broke the MLS for what seems to be a couple of weeks now, right? It keeps going on and on. You know, he also talked about in the article too, right? He mentioned the fact that there's no training facilities, right? The team kind of switches back and forth between the Matthew Complex and also, you know, the Charlotte, whatever we call it, Bank of America, right? Yeah. So,
right.
You know, and then, you know, it even starts going in there talking about his issues, and then, you know, some, you know, with Zoran, maybe not issues with Mars and Zoran, but it was kind of, you kind of read between the line that there might be some frustration there. But, you know, I don't know. What's your say on that, Top Ben?
I think the article, I mean, it's a pretty fair article. I do think he leaned towards the negative side of things as well. Like, he didn't.
The article did, right?
Yeah, he never highlighted any of the positives. But
I was standing right beside Jorge. I didn't understand all the Spanish, but I remember when he was talking about practicing in, you know, different places, and when you asked him the question about it, and that was the best part too, is that because Jorge understood what he was saying, and all the bigger news media did not catch it.
Hold on, there's nothing bigger than Top Ben 90.
Yeah, right. Because you got to go all the way to the top in the corner of the goal, but nonetheless, no one else caught it. But our boy, I always get that wrong, Top Ben right here caught that shit, and it's been flowing. I love it.
Go ahead. So, anyways, Top Ben. So you were saying, right? So
like, I mean, like, one of his sources on there said that, like, it feels like it's a mixture of arrogance and ignorance what the club, which I thought was really interesting. I was like,
on Mars's part or Zoran's part?
On Zoran's part and the technical staff. It said that Charlotte had a roadmap, but then Zoran and the technical staff decided to go a different way.
Yeah.
You know, but to be fair to them, like, it's proving right so far. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's obviously a lot of gaps in the team. It doesn't look like we're not competitive enough yet. And I mean, I think it's good. The positive I see there is that there continues to be this pressure on our staff to make sure that our team is quality, you know?
Yeah.
Because if we're gonna be putting up the numbers that we are, which is great, we should also have team that we can back. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Quality players, people, things that people want to come back and see. Kind of like Ron mentioned yesterday. I mean, one of the biggest things, Atlanta was successful their second season, winning the MLS Cup. I'm not saying we need to win the MLS Cup right off the bat, but we need to be competitive. Like that's
Yeah.
that's
But
one
I mean,
thing.
so I'm going to kind of stop you there before the point gets taken too far away, right? You know, in football, right? A contract, you can have a guy up to the minute and deals fall through, right? And I think the problem was, at least for Charlotte, was that we pretty much felt it was a done deal and it was just a matter of formalities, right? Because I mean, for instance, Darwin, he came in, had his physical and everything, right? And then they come to find out about his legal battles, and then apparently due to MLS, the way they put it in the contract, they have that termination clause, and obviously guy wasn't signing that, so that and it fell through right at the 12th hour.
Right. But let's do this. Let's forget about the players that haven't signed. And
Yeah, okay.
let me ask Mark this. Mark, is there a player that you've seen in Charlotte that you would want at Atlanta United?
I appreciate the yeah, because I don't know if I could pick him out of a lineup right now, to be honest with you. No,
Or maybe that's a fair question to him. But if I'm supporting an MLS team and I'm looking at our players, there's very few that I would say, man, I would take this guy over here. You know what I'm saying?
Right, and let me be honest about at least myself too, and I would suspect most Atlanta fans, right? So, in the early on, we didn't necessarily know who Miguel Almiron was, right? We didn't know who Joseph Martinez was. I mean, Joseph was struggling in Torino as a winger, right? So, and he's actually one of the later signings, but what Atlanta United, which you did see, was the dollar amount, right? So like Ron came in, I think, for 8 point something million, which at the time was one of the biggest MLS transfers. And fast forward 5 years later, and like not only is that not even close to one of the biggest MLS transfers, Atlanta United have like 3 or 4 of the biggest, in terms just purely in terms of number. And so while at the end, in terms of MLS and, filling out an MLS roster may not always be the biggest name, but like I was just looking at the transfer market, and it's like Swiderski for 5 million, and then the next one is 3 million, and it does not seem like this roster is really ready to like they play, from what I've seen from Charlotte, they play a decent brand, right? Like they're solid in terms of building out of the back and so on. But in terms of breaking teams down, I don't think y'all have those players yet. And it's gonna be really difficult to get results without, people who
Well,
create goals.
well, and that's the thing, right? The clubs always say we're not going to buy stars, we're going to create stars, right? Or develop stars. But part of me feels like you were kind of alluding to, Mark, we need like that one player, right? Because I think defensively, and I think I've seen some comments here, I think we're okay defensively, right? We obviously need some wingers. I mean, that's definitely a thing that we need, but we need that one player, right, that can kind of spark the team and just kind of do it, right?
Yeah.
He may be in the squad. We've only played 5 games, and 3 of those were definitely preseason games, and I see the team progressively getting better. I mean, we could pick apart the LA game here in just a minute, right? We'll just finish up with the article, but yeah, I mean, you're right. I don't feel like we have all the pieces to the puzzle yet.
Yeah, it's just kind of listening to you guys. So I didn't, the training facility thing is interesting as well, at least from an Atlanta fan perspective, because so Atlanta has that I think it was $250 million training facility built in Marietta, like right outside Atlanta. And that's just, I think, an example of the investment in the academy structure overall. And so like Charlotte, I think they've done some things that you could look and say, okay, like, that's kind of the Atlanta mold, so to speak. And I think it's, in terms of like thinking big, like I think that's great, but it can't, it like Jorge said earlier, in order to I guess continue getting that consistent support, the full stadiums, the rowdy crowds, and so on, like they got to get something to hold on to. So, if even if you didn't get all the players that you wanted in this window or by the start of the season, like there's still time to, if they get 1 or 2 players in the summer, Charlotte could still make a run, I think, for a playoff spot, depending on how results go, obviously, in the first half of the season.
Can me being the newbie fan here, and for everyone out there, because I just want to make sure that I represent people that don't know nearly as much as everybody here, especially Jorge and Lee and Mark, is tell me really quick, clarify what happens in the summertime, because there's so many major leagues that overlap. So as far as I understand, the summertime, some leagues out there are going to be ending, and that's when players will be available. Can someone please explain that for the newer fans out there?
Go ahead, Mark.
Yeah, I mean that's basically it. So you have like our neighbors down south in Mexico. They technically have like 2 seasons in a calendar year, right? The Apertura, which is played in the fall, and then the Clausura, which is played in the spring. But yeah, you'll have like that short gap in the winter, and then like a summer break of like 2 months. Your typical European league, their extended break anyway, is going to be during the summer. Your typical South American league, their extended break is going to be during the summer. Like it's either 2 months or 3 months. It does vary a little bit.
The transfer window opens, right?
Yeah,
And then that's when
I guess, and I know they overlap each other, but are we saying like by July 1st, we should really be looking out for a new player, aka, or is it by June 1st, or is it by, so sometime early July, late June?
I don't know the MLS window dates off the top of my head, because it's that too. Like each league has a window, their specific dates in which their summer window opens and closes, and then MLS also have their specific dates of when their window opens and closes. But I think like mid-June, you should start at least hearing rumors. If not, team is looking to sign this player, that player. I would think.
Yeah. So back to this article real quick. I mean, there was a lot of between Zoran and Mars. It seemed like this guy was trying to cause a rift, right? At least reading this, right? But we have a consultant in the name of Steve Walsh that was not mentioned, right? He's been here since day one. He was the guy that was at Leicester. He, went to Everton, and he was supposed to be helping with these players. There's been a lot of talk about we didn't get a lot of MLS ready players, meaning that we got players outside the league that didn't have MLS, experience. It was a risk, I think, right? I mean, we've kind of scrambled looking for, the international spots, right? We've had to trade off some of those. I know they're trying to work on some green cards, so hopefully, that number kind of drops down. But, I don't know. I don't know how to take this article. I'm gonna have to reread it a couple of more times and then really get a grasp on it, right? Because it did feel like it was negative. But then, like somebody said at the end, right, it was like, but it's even at this early stage, it's reasonable to say that Charlotte FC didn't apply many of these lessons learned by others. If they indeed screwed, that would be a major reason why, right? And I don't know, right? I mean, it's potluck when you're trying to build out a team, in my opinion. Jorge, what news did you have to break, or what were you going to talk about on it?
No, I think you mentioned it. It's I haven't had enough conversations yet to see. But
yeah, we'll have to revisit this for sure.
Let me somewhat quote. Let me change it a little bit. So, no offense, Mark, what Tepper said, but it's starting the rivalry between the '85 corridor rivalry, just like the Falcons and the Panthers. But instead of screw that city, screw that article. Screw that article, man.
That's right. But I mean, like Maxwell says, right?
They did mention in that article that like Miguel, he kind of threatened to like quit the team and leave, and I can see that being a possibility. Just now, like getting to know Miguel, the kind of person. Well, no, I'm just saying, like I could see that being a possibility at that time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, this is a good question too. Is it negative because it challenges our perception of the club, or we just being defensive? I mean, I don't know, right? I mean, we've been in events where Mars has kind of talked to it, and he just says like he talks in the moment, right? Um, you know, maybe he didn't think through what he should have said, but in the moment when he's feeling the passion, that was how he was feeling when that went down, right? Yeah, and I mean, you know, people saying it's pure clickbait. Yeah, I kind of agree on that, right?
Definitely some clickbaitiness to it.
For sure. I mean, you know, I don't know, man. I just don't know how to take it yet.
Lee, wiggle yourself off that hook, dog. They ain't no barb on that hook. Get off that hook.
Well, I
man.
need to reread it again. I keep trying to read it and then try to think about everything that I know about the club, right? And other conversations we've had. And I'm just trying to balance my own brain out here, which is it's not working. So
I can't.
Yeah.
Do it.
I mean, again, Gilmore, I think this is it really, basically. It's like it's rehashing old problems. We already know this issue, like there's some issues, right? We know we don't have the players, you know, and it's like, come on, let's move on. Maybe it's a slow news day and, you know, everybody's scared of Charlotte. I know Atlanta is.
So now that we've moved on,
yeah,
Mark, what can fans expect coming down there?
Hold on. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I just
We're
want to
going to talk about the LA Galaxy game first, right?
No, fuck that, man. Let's just go ahead and talk about Atlanta. I just want to know, bring it back. You just take a breath, Lee, because I know you're getting that brain right.
Yeah.
What to expect going down there, like the scene, the crowd, how many people come? You know, I'm assuming the fans aren't too crazy mean or whatever. What's it going to be like for a budding rivalry? And do you have a rivalry yet?
Yeah, I feel like we cycled through rivalries, right? So when we first came in, you know, it was us in Orlando. I think the league tried to mash us together as it was at the time those were pretty much the only two Southeastern teams. Now Orlando, I would say Orlando's fan base took to disliking us real quick. I believe there was some fighting on the first couple of trips. Well, actually, there was something that happened because both clubs had banned the other's supporters at one point. Yeah, this was like back in like 2018, 19, I think.
Tell me Mickey Mouse was in there somewhere.
Yeah, I know, right? Throwing hands.
So before we go too deep into this, Mark, I got a question for you, man. What is going on here?
Becoming a Charlotte fan.
Let's go. Oh, I got him on camera. Oh, I got him on camera. We got him on camera.
I knew this would come back.
What is that, man? What happened there? I think I even heard you say I'm becoming a Charlotte fan. So
I was just caught up in the moment. You know, it's like when you spend the night with someone, you say some stuff that you don't really mean.
So you say when you woke up in the morning, you left it as possible and never called me?
Yeah.
You're like, oh, they don't score. Ooh, that's
look. We got him going now. Yeah, come on, Atlanta. That's right. We got him. We even got Pancake, man. We're taking all y'all people to Charlotte, man. We're taking all y'all. Come on. AJ, if he was on here, it'll come next, man.
No, Weissman, don't worry about it. It's all good. You'll see my Atlanta colors this weekend. It's all good. What to expect? No, we're cool, man. We're cool. Okay, let me be honest with you. We're cool for the most part. There's like, you know, the supporter groups can always be interesting, right? So there's like one or two that might be a little bit like, we don't mess with rival fans, but for the most part, like we're pretty welcoming, you know. And then of course, like there's the personal connections, you know, the fans who used to be Atlanta fans. So, you know, I'm sure it'll be mostly love. The stadium itself it's dope, honestly. Like I don't know.
Yeah, the stadium, I like the stadium.
What's the parking lot like? Logistics? Easy to park there? Easy to? Because that can always be such a pain. Are people tailgating all over the place?
No, so there's one lot in particular where we're tailgating. So there's a spot we used to tailgate, the Gulch, which, you know, everyone loved and it was awesome, but we're redeveloping that spot now. So the new spot is cool. It's not, to me, it's not as good as the Gulch, but it's a nice, you know, big open space where all the supporters groups can fit and, you know, get their little section popping off. So and then the parking is around. I think the easiest thing, you know, if you go to the Mercedes-Benz website, They'll kind of show you like where the parking lots are within walking distance. It's just one of those things where you do have to kind of know a little bit, but finding parking shouldn't be too difficult.
Someone just mentioned it on the comments to take the MARTA in. Just go
Yeah,
ahead.
just did.
I mean, because I live 10 minutes away from a MARTA station. So yeah, like my preferred method is to take MARTA in and then, avoid, because you will sit in traffic leaving, like unless you just stay and hang out afterwards. Yeah, I mean, like it's Atlanta, it's traffic.
But there's a MARTA stop right at Mercedes-Benz Stadium.
There is, yeah,
Okay.
there is.
You can, if you can find a MARTA wherever, you can get straight to it. Okay.
It's so it's on the blue line, right? On the line that runs east-west. The stadium is, that is. So
Cool.
Before we get into the Atlanta and dissecting the game and everything, I think we should go back and talk about this weekend, right? How great it was, how fun we had, all the fun we had, and that sort of thing. For me, it's nothing. I can't match it, right? I'll never be that excited, and I will never be that excited again for a game for sure. And it was just an awesome time, and Top Ben, I had to make you right say, calm down, put your stuff down. Let's take this in for a minute. Let's just enjoy the kickoff. Give us ourselves 60 seconds, right, and that sort of thing.
Day one.
It's easy to keep wanting to get the content right because we're bad about it, right? We're always recording something, and I just thought from the tailgating, everybody was chill. Even fucking name, what's his name? Troops. I mean, even he was cool even though he's an Arsenal fan, he obviously married smart since his wife is a Spurs fan. But yeah, so I mean, like the whole thing, I thought, I would shout out to all the supporters groups and everybody that put the work in for the tailgating, pulling all that together. The TIFO committee, y'all killed it. Y'all killed it, man. That Charlotte, that was legit. That really was good.
That thing was sweet.
And then even with the fact that when we were doing the national anthem, right, it died off, right? There was, I guess the mic dropped or whatever, the sound system busted, and then everybody took over, right? It was just so magical, man. And to be there with my kid too, that was just, I mean, I can't.
Yeah, and people didn't miss a beat. And I felt bad. I felt bad for the woman who was scheduled to sing, and she kept singing. She was doing it, and she kept singing. And I really felt bad for the audio-visual people who were losing their shit right at that time. Like the mic had dropped. But how funny is it that moment, which was technically became I mean, I saw it on USA Today. I saw it on CNN. Everyone singing the national anthem. And also, not getting into politics or anything, but for the first time to be in an arena that there wasn't a mask needed or whatever, you didn't have to wear one or whatever, and everyone's singing at the top of their lungs, first time in there, the lights, everything. I don't know if y'all saw the video, but those tears were real, man. I wasn't kidding. People had goosebumps. I was crying. That was incredible.
Yeah, man. So
wonderful moment.
This just a clip of this, and when I snagged this, I believe it was this came in a text earlier, but I believe this might be from the Charlotte Observer. So So yeah, we had Eric letting us know exactly where we are. We were in the Carolinas, right? I mean, it was just such an awesome night, man. And man, I think we all about had a tear in our eye. So we've actually let's see here. So we got a caller calling in, I believe. Can we hear him? I don't know if we can hear him. Hello? Roscoe?
Oh shit, is that Roscoe?
It sounds like Roscoe.
Hey.
Hey, what you doing, boy?
Hello.
Hey.
Hello.
Hey.
Hello.
Hey.
Hey, is this Lee and them boys over there?
It is.
Yeah.
Hey, man. Hey, fellas. What y'all got going on, man? Y'all doing all right?
Yeah, we're doing good. How are you, Roscoe?
Hey man, hell, bro, brother, I'm still recovering from last weekend. You know what I mean? Hey, look here, I don't want to rush y'all, but me and my damn neighbor Jimmy, we slapped right in the middle of rebuilding the carburetor on his '77 Firebird. We just
Damn
got
right.
out. We're gonna get right back over at it. What's that? What's that?
I said, damn right.
Yeah. Well, I can't stay long. I just want to holler at you boys real quick. But look, I want to tell y'all, man. I tell you what, I had a good time last weekend. I ain't seen a crowd that rowdy since damn Rockingham in '97 when old Bobby Hamilton beat Dale Jarrett. Shit, man, it was wilder than two rats. Anyway, look here. Look, I ain't gonna lie to you. Last weekend, I had a Bush Copper Type or 11 of them, maybe the other night. Hell, who's counting? I didn't have a damn clue what was happening for most of the time I was out there. The damn offsides rule don't make a lick of sense to me or nobody else. Seems like they could just put a fella up there watching a little TV and says whether he's offsides or maybe he ain't. Hell, we don't know the difference. But what do I know about anything? Am I right?
You're right, Roscoe. You're right.
Yeah. I'm gonna tell you one thing.
What's that?
And then I got to go. Listen, look, Bo. That damn Cheetah Reader fella was ripping us a new ass. Well, can I say ass on here? Can I say?
Yeah, go ahead. You're right.
Oh, yeah. Well, here, look. I didn't know if it was like when I called Charlie and Debbie on WSOC every afternoon to request both Cephas, which they never play, by the way. I get mad as hell when I cuss. I just want to make sure it wasn't like one of them situations. But anyway, what I said,
Hey,
that damn Cheetah Reader. What you say?
I said, hey.
Yeah, well, that damn JT, that boy has been drinking again. Look here, like I say, that Cheetah Reader, if that even is his real name, was quicker than a damn hiccup, and we looked like we didn't have nobody could keep up with his ass, except for that one fella. You know what his name is because I kept yelling it because his name's Fuchs. Ain't that his name? Oh, Christopher Fuchs. Ain't that boy's name?
Yeah.
Fuchs. You mean Fuchs?
Fuchs.
No, I mean it says what is it right there? It says fuck.
That's a crazy name, man. I like saying that, but anyway, that's a fun one. But anyway, one of y'all was telling me he won the damn what was it? He won the Super Cup of Premier World League, something like that over there.
Yeah, he won the Premier League. You're right.
Leicester. Leicester's over there across the pond. That's cool as hell, man. I don't know what any of that means, but it sounds cool. Anyway, look, I don't know nothing about none of that. I'll see you boys back out there next weekend. I'll bring the damn Bush Copper Tops and the pork skins, and don't forget, I'll be praying for y'all, okay?
All right, man. Well,
the mighty black.
Black and blue.
we appreciate you, Roscoe, man. You be safe.
I'm Roscoe, and I'm from.
So yeah, obviously our first caller in had to be Roscoe, right?
Name
But
of
yeah,
Roscoe, you are a cut of cloth. I like the cut of your jib, sir.
yeah.
And hey, just Roscoe, real quick. They're rebuilding Rockingham. The Rock's coming back. You know that's right.
That's right. But with that being said, right? So we appreciate you, Roscoe. The game itself, I thought, it took them like 75 minutes to score, right?
Mhm.
And
Talk about that shot. I mean, that shot, because from the supporter section, we couldn't, because it flew down the field. But that was a beautiful goal.
Yeah.
I mean, like a crazy
nobody was stopping that.
top bin. Was that not a top bin? Didn't it go
That
up
was
the
close to top bin.
Yeah. But other than that, Jorge, go ahead, man. What did you think of the game itself?
I think defensively we were good, but we just still lack creativity in that final third. We're not creating enough chances. I mean, in my opinion, our three best players were Jalen Lindsey, our right back, Fuchs, our center back, and Kalina, our goalie. And this is Fuchs' second, I would say, man of the match performance. I know they gave it to Kalina because he had some clutch saves. But if these are the guys that are our man of the match, let's know how much creativity we lack in that final third. So
Yeah.
I think defensively we're okay. We just have to start creating more chances and scoring. I mean, I've seen 5 Charlotte FC games and we haven't scored from open plate.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. I think we had like 5 or 6 shots on target. So there, I think they had like 21.
Well,
If it was
definitely at the end in like the last 10 minutes, just hearing everyone around me in the supporter section and myself too being like, go, like, you know, in hockey, they pull the goal. I mean, whatever. If you've got a certain amount of time, you can pull the goalie in soccer too. But it's like, go, someone push it.
Mhm.
And it literally seemed like it wasn't possible. They're all doing the system, which is the, you know, find the open, but there was no like full on run it. Like you would think there would be some sort of like, hey, screw it, just go. But I don't know if we even have that ability right now.
Well, I mean, go ahead, Mark. Go
Just
ahead.
real quick, yeah, I don't know if and y'all can correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't know if Charlotte has players that can dribble at people. You know, like I think that's like the probably from the first two games, for what I've seen, that to me that's the number one missing thing. Because as you said, like yeah, you've got the passing, right? You got the system, you got the structure, but you still need individuals that can break other teams down. Because a team like LA Galaxy is gonna away from home, you know, gonna naturally be more conservative. You know, like they probably would have been happy with the point.
Yeah.
You know, like the goal was just a sweet bonus for them. But you know, truthfully, like so there's gonna be games like that for Charlotte, and that's you know that to me like the way the roster's structured now. I think those are the games where I could see them struggling.
Yeah, I mean, right. I mean, it was LA's job to come ruin our party, right? I thought that was the only thing they had to do was quieten the crowd, you know, and it took a little longer than what they expected. But yeah, I mean, you know, the player that I was concerned about, and I'm agreeing here with Captain Brex, was Rayner, right? I mean, he just didn't seem like he was in the game. It like there were some balls where he could have got it and stopped it from going out and possibly crossed it, but he just seemed to be like at 70%. What are you saying, Jorge?
No, I was agreeing with you. I mean, I think he could have done better on the head that Lindsay crossed into him. And yeah, like you said, like he just didn't seem interested enough.
Yeah,
That
I mean, maybe he had a late night the night before or
When-
whatever, you know.
when
But
did, when did Sergio come in? He came in the game late too. Because you know,
Yeah.
we was the first signed, the first person, you know, we ever interviewed way back when, and he came in late. And I remember he had such a beautiful. If he would have gotten the pass just right, it could have been a good chance to shoot on the goal. But he didn't play it right. And I remember seeing him on the field like go like, I missed it or whatever. And it wasn't until today I thought his first kid was supposed to be born today. And I don't know who journalists out there might know or might not know, but I wonder if his head, and also 75,000 people, and I'm very curious, obviously, for the next game. But when we play, not Cincinnati, we play. Shoot, here, does anyone have this?
no,
Has anyone gotten this? See,
I
so
don't
this
know.
is what. Just real quick, everybody, in the media box, they give you a rundown of all the players. And also, they give you all the description and their birthdays and everything. We have like 4 players having birthdays this month. We should do something for that. But nonetheless, then you have all the games. Let's see if I can show you all this. And that's the first. Here's Sergio and other people. And Fuchs
Did
and
you say Sergio's wife was supposed to have their kid today? That seems
Yeah. Well, no. Her. I remember from 3 weeks ago, him saying that the predicted birth date. I'm not saying it right. Oh, we played the New England Revolution, but the predicted birth date was supposed to be today because he was joking about that, saying March 5th is when my kid is supposed to come, and I was like, hey, listen, no kid ever comes on the day they're supposed to, either early or late. But I when I saw him come in late, when I saw him seem frustrated, I said to myself, I want not right then, but later on. I wonder if he was thinking about his wife. She might have been in labor at the time. Who knows?
Yeah. I mean,
literally, who knows? I don't know.
Quick.
Well,
Anyways,
I saw her after the game. She was there. She didn't have the baby yet.
She was there and still with child.
yeah. So like Michael was saying, again, with Rayner, right, that he's very streaky. You know, he's bang average when he's not on, right? Yeah. So, you know, I mean, I could see that, right? And Mark, to your point, I don't know who we have that will actually drive at the opposing defense. I don't know who that would be. You know,
yeah.
And you're right? Because we're playing the system, but we get to the halfway line, right? And we're playing it back, you know. And some of, you know, it's like, I don't know, right? defense are great. I'm not going to knock on those guys. They worked it out. But yeah, I mean, maybe I don't know, when Bender comes on, it just seems like the game kind of picks up a little bit. But I know that's a lot of pressure to put on a young kid too, right? To come in and be that guy.
100%.
So it's like who is it? Who do we get, right? Who, maybe this new winger coming in, he can have something. I don't know, right? Maybe once Carroll gets a couple of games under his belt, things will be a little more where he can pivot off and go right and just kind of get through that. But yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know who that guy is.
I thought Bender brought a spark, though. I mean, when they did come in late, I mean, they came with fresh legs, and they were bringing something to the table.
Yeah. So like playing it back, I agree with QC Yavi here, right? It just we make all those passes and we go forward, and then we pass it all the way back, kind of dies off. So, but yeah, so we can shift over to this Atlanta game that's coming up, man.
Oh, before we shift, Lee, I just want to say one thing.
Okay.
It's about to get cold out there, but when it does get hot, because it's going to get hot, you all know that Catawba Brewing has a new beer, not just the white zombie, the lemon ginger zombie. And it's so cold and so fresh.
That was a free ad placement, YouTube, so don't copyright us or get us for not saying this is sponsored. That was completely free. So yeah, let's talk about the Atlanta
good. I've loved
and Charlotte FC game, man. So I don't know if you saw this, but
I'm becoming a Charlotte fan. Let's go. Oh, I got him on camera. Oh, I got him on camera. We got him on camera.
Again.
So,
I think we did say it earlier, right?
I wasn't sure.
Have I had beers?
Lee.
We were just buzzing on you, man. Since
No, of course.
there in Atlanta, man. It's all in good fun, man. It's all in good fun. I hope you've enjoyed the time you hung out with us in DC, right? Meeting you in DC and then coming to Charlotte, and hopefully I'll get to see you Sunday too, man. So yeah. You're a good guy.
You've been to every Charlotte FC game, bro, in MLS.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, Mark, are you just like a huge overall MLS fan? I mean, do you travel up and down? Do you go on away games with Atlanta and stuff? I mean, what?
So let me try to answer as many as I can. I would like to go to more away games. Like for example, this year they finally gave us Red Bulls and NYCFC back to back in New York, and that's actually the week leading up to July 4th. So yeah, I'm trying to. Yeah, hopefully I could do that. I've been to Philadelphia a couple years ago. Wouldn't mind going back there. Yeah, I mean, like I would like to do some away days for sure. In terms of the traveling I've been doing lately, that's actually been with for the culture. And like the team's been gracious enough to work with us because we're doing storytelling. Our main I guess mission is telling the story of Black people in soccer, and to a larger degree telling the story of diversity in soccer, because it's important. So that's why I was able to be at this past game. They even were able to they were nice enough to hook me up with a media pass, and so but I think just to not to go back to no discussion, but it was the atmosphere there. It was something to witness, the tailgate and all that. The vibe was electric. It was authentic. It was good, and I think it's great for the league. And I am a fan of MLS in that sense. Like I want to see MLS continue growing.
Right.
It's for sure. And I think just in general, like having local soccer, even if it's not the best in the world, like just being able to go to these games, or like seeing young players that might go on to do something. Like I saw Brendan Aronson's first goal, and it was at the Benz, and now he's watching today versus Bayern Munich. You know what I mean? Like Efren Alvarez might be in Europe one day, and I saw him score a banger in Charlotte. So what I mean? It's little things like that too. Like I saw George Bello play in person. Now he's in Bundesliga. It's all part of it. So I just want to see MLS continue growing in this way.
How can
Yeah.
I don't know if we have any graphics for it, Lee, but how can people find what you're doing and the stories you're telling?
So for the culture, we're on all the socials, mainly Twitter and Instagram at FTC UTD. So we're actually like in the process. We have a bunch of Charlotte footage already, and we're in the process of putting that together, and we're gonna be releasing some stuff next week. So I know you guys, and I'm sure people watching the stream would definitely be interested in that. So we'll definitely keep you all posted on that.
Yeah, definitely
Uh,
tag us so we can push that for you.
Absolutely. I appreciate that. Appreciate that.
Hey, hey, everybody, hold on. Everyone out there, did you catch what Mark said? It was a little thing, but they don't call it Mercedes-Benz Stadium. They call it the Benz. So if you're catching the MARTA, you say, I need to get to the Benz. Hey, I'm catching the MARTA to the Benz, baby.
And it's not a dome, it's a closed stadium. There's a difference.
Why? One of the things I saw when we went is like everything in the stadium is like closed off, like in terms of how the sun comes in, except like it hits the supporter section. Like I saw that.
Well, so last year they were like, trying to dance around the COVID protocols a little bit. So one of the things they did to justify that was open the roof. Now, in previous seasons, they would not open the roof unless it was like in the evening or during cooler temperatures, because when you open the roof during like the middle of summer, the heat traps in there. It is humid. It's not a good time. And then depending on the time of day, that sun will hit. Like me and my boy, I last year I sat next to the supporter section, right? And there was one game where we stood there for like the first half, and then second half we had to move. Like it was too hot, but I hope they don't do that nonsense with the roof again. Because that's tough.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was a really awesome experience for me. That was the first time I was down there when you guys lost to Nashville, I should say. It was just a really good fun time. It was cool to walk in, like Eric says here about the concessions. I believe he's talking about food and that kind of stuff. It was super cheap. I mean, I think my ticket was like $80. I was sitting midfield, halfway up club level. We got to even walk down to where like basically stand pitch side and was right there next to the player. So it was fun.
Yeah. What about the concessions? Because I know at our game, relatively compared to Hornets or Panthers, you could get not a beer, but whatever. You could get a hot dog. You could get almost for like $5.50, $6. You weren't paying out the yin yang for it. So what's it like at the old at the Benz?
Yeah, it's pretty much that. And so when Arthur, built the Benz, essentially that was one of the how should I put it? I don't know if mandate is the right word, but basically like the cost of concessions at the Benz is always controlled. Like that's just one of the. Now I know like at some concerts, like I think there was a Kanye event where like there was some ridiculously priced concessions, but that's the only time I've seen anything like that. Because I think even at Falcons games, the concessions are still controlled, and it's not just like knockoff like fast food. It's actually
it was legit, man. It was
like
legit.
restaurants from around the city.
You and have sushi and whatever, man. It was.
And they're still adding stuff. Like they just added a coffee bar. So yeah, it's
I think I bought two slices of pizza and a beer. It cost me like $8. It was super cheap, man. I was like, I thought I was robbing.
What?
Yeah, it was nice and cheap. So
when you have beers on the MARTA, someone was asking.
Yeah, can you take?
Are you supposed to? I know you're not supposed to.
You're not supposed to, right?
No,
so I was about to say, technically not.
I mean, whatever. Just be cool with your beer.
Exactly.
Don't act the fool, and you be all right.
Yeah. So Captain Brex, man, I'm not defending the team by any means, but I felt a lot of people have kind of said this, but the prices in DC inside their stadium, I think, was right on par with what Charlotte was charging. It was the tall, big cans, right? And I think it was right around like $13 or something. The only difference is they didn't make us pour it in the cups. We were able to take our beer straight in there.
Good point. I don't know if they're going to do that next game. I completely forgot about that. It was like some sort of the whole trying to get supporter section to pour their beers in big plastic cups before they walked into where their seats would be. That was such a cluster.
Yeah, I mean, I understand why
and
they would.
not to mention, if you pour it fast as you're trying to get to your seat, you're getting all this foam. People don't know what they're doing. There's all these clear plastic cups in the aisleway. People are tripping over them.
Yeah, I mean, there was some posts I saw. I'm not sure if it was like on Facebook or Twitter, but people were throwing beer cans off of the top 500. I think some little kid actually got hit. Anyways, right? It's so you can't throw the can, right? Basically, I mean, I get it. I guess they was expecting us to score. We was expecting to score, but anyways. But to the game this weekend itself, Mark, you guys got some key injuries, right?
Or do we? Yeah, I mean, key injuries / absences because we have players working on their like visa status and things like that as well. So, man, off the top of my head. All right, so Aruju, who before the season, me and AJ from Atlanta United Fan TV, we talked him up as a possible MVP candidate. So to lose him in the first game to a hamstring injury is a real bummer. But sounds like it's only going to be about 4 weeks. Obviously, he won't be available this week, but that's a big absence. Let's see who else. Santiago Sosa still.
Yeah, I saw Sosa back today. I think Atlanta United tweeted about him today.
I may have missed that. If he is back, that's good. Last I checked, we weren't expecting him to be back. Now I know Almada, they were talking about being available for this weekend. Almada is the big acquisition from this past offseason for Atlanta United. Attacking midfielder, 20-year-old, big profile. So we've yet to see too much of him because basically his signing was held up. He was included. He was a person of interest in a sexual assault case. And so, that needed to be, clarified before they could actually confirm the signing. So he hasn't had too much of a preseason. So I am curious, even if he's available, if he would actually start from the beginning. But this does feel like a game where he could make an appearance. No Miles Robinson, got a red card. Let's see.
What did he do? What did he do to get a red card?
Just 2 yellows. And honestly, something we talked about too, his form with the national team and the club, the last few matches hasn't been spectacular. So, hopefully that's just a blip in the radar. But yeah, like especially the second yellow that he got was confusing. Yeah, if Ibarra and Sosa back, I mean, that would go a long way towards the midfield because if we don't have Sosa, if we don't have Ibarra, and then, I'm blanking on his name. Former Seattle midfielder, Ozzy Alonso. Yeah, he had something with his cardiologist recommended that he be held out before the game versus Colorado over the weekend. So that's another midfielder that it's not available. So right now it looks like Josetu and Sejdic would have to start, which is not like the most ideal. But yeah, if even one of Sosa or Ibarra are back, that would be a huge boost for us in the midfield.
Yeah, I agree. So, if Charlotte plays like they did last week, I think we touched on this last night, Jorge, right? On your show, right? When we did the live of your show about the way that Atlanta has a tough time breaking down, defenders basically, right? And and if we sit back and do like how we play, it could be one of those 0-0 games, right? Obviously, if you guys score quick early, right, then that's going to open up the game a lot. I think if we score, I could see us just kind of parking that bus and trying to ride out the game, But how do you think it will go down, Jorge? Sorry.
Yeah, exactly like you said. I mean, obviously Miguel understands that he doesn't have the pieces he wants this yet. So we'll try to be organized and stay in the game and frustrate them, kind of like we did Galaxy. Although I know Alvarez scored an amazing goal, but he also had all the time in the world and all the space in the world to get that shot out, man. So that's something that we're going to have to be careful on. And I honestly think Chicharito had a good game, bro. Like he got into some good spaces and almost scored a couple of times. And we have to be worried about that because I mean, Atlanta has the same thing in Joseph Martinez. They have a difference maker up top. And so we've got to.
I mean, you're right. It takes that one moment, right? That one,
Exactly.
Slip or just kind of thinking out. A player slows down for a split second, and then that's it, right? But
Well, I want to throw this out there real quick. What do you think about the progression we've seen with Mars's style from Charleston to the first game? Granted, it's all midfield and defense and whatever. If we score one goal, we can probably hold on to it. But do you think that it's going to continue on the progress of the process that they're going to be even that much better? I mean, whatever. Every team, when they get together, got new pieces, new players. But my gosh, we're an expansion team. Everything's new. So we're seeing progress and progress and progress. I wonder how much you think we'll see progress for this next game.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, right, preseason, we didn't score with them. Finally, we got a penalty, so we kind of scored. DC, I can't remember the times of the goals, but, basically, I think they were cheap goals. And then, against LA last week, it took them to the 70th, 80th minute to score. So, I see progression. I mean, I'm just kind of using that as a timeline in my own head. I see a progression of the team. But
the
again,
one thing I noticed the most is more players are more comfortable in the system that Miguel wants to play.
Yeah, 100%.
It's a very unique system, right, Jorge?
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I understand. People tell me it's unique, but I'm not, I don't know it well enough. But from what I understand, it's very unique. And I don't want to say it's the process, but my gosh, with such a unique system that, and it being an expansion team, then it's like process on top of process.
Yeah. I like Churchy's comment here, right? Our goals are like our signings.
Almost.
Hey, that's percussion for you, Churchy.
Yeah. I want to touch on something that Jorge said, in terms of having Joseph up top. The key is that Joseph needs to stay up top. So we have a guy who's part of, I guess you could say, Atlanta United Twitter, Teodo Football. He's big into the deeper stats and so on. He put a stat out there, and so it's only 2 games into the season, but Joseph is tied for last in making runs into the box. And I always like to back that up with an eye test, and I have to say, Joseph is dropping off more. I think not just this season, but over the last couple seasons. Well, obviously he was out for 2020, but last season I think you saw him go searching for the ball more. Dropping deep more. I mean, the first week of this season, he had 2 assists, and we praised him for that. But with it does seem to, I think, Atlanta United ever since 2018, it comes back to who's going to score the goals besides Joseph. So I could see Atlanta United struggling, just because of all the players out, and I think because of Charlotte's style. I think it is a sort of an interesting tactical battle. I think that generally throughout our history we've been a little more comfortable on the counter, and I think with Pineda coming from Seattle, Seattle typically is a countering direct team. I think we've seen some of that with Atlanta United under him so far. So I'm curious to see how this plays out. How many chances? I don't know if Charlotte would take chances, but how aggressively Charlotte sets up, especially on a bigger playing field.
Mark, before we get to Charlotte FC news, how much will Atlanta press? What is your prediction? Here's a way to ask it. What do you think the chances are that we score a goal?
So
I had lost because everything's about our offense is definitely the most lacking. What do you think? Because you saw us, on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
You're, obviously knowledgeable about your own team. And with the people out, what do you think the chances are that we score? Because in my own brain, I'm like, my gosh, when is the first goal?
Yeah.
If I'm in a bar or Lee's at the game or wherever we are, hopefully it will be this weekend. What do you think the chances are we score a goal in Atlanta?
give y'all a decent chance. If I had to put a percentage on it, I would say 30-40%. On the other podcast, I predicted 2-1 to Atlanta. So I mean, like I think that Charlotte can like scrap a goal. I think defensively, we're not completely solid. Like Alan Franco had a stinker versus Colorado, and he's gonna have to start
Hold
with
on, he
Miles.
plays for Charlotte.
Who, Alan Franco?
Yeah.
Does he really? Is there?
We have a Franco. Yeah, we have a Franco as well. So we'd have to distinguish that.
Franco.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Because I did. Hold on. He's
The battle of
21.
Yeah.
21.
Well, hopefully yours plays better than ours did this past weekend, because he's like he's our okay. Yeah. So our Alan Franco is an Argentinian TAM center back that we brought in last season, and he struggled at the beginning of last season too. So I'm hoping this is just like a 1-game blip, and that he'll be good to go this weekend. But we'll see.
Mark, the funny thing is, I'm sorry to interrupt. The funny thing is, when we signed our Alan Franco, I was trying to put out a video real quick just to keep the content going and doing my little bit with breaking news. I did the whole thing. I sent it to Lee to put up on the socials. He's like, dude, wrong Alan Franco. I was like, I thought he got traded for Atlanta. I was like, damn it. I completely forgot about that till right now.
Yep.
Anyway, I'm sorry.
So if you guys ever need a video on your Alan Franco, we can just send it down there to you.
Everyone want me doing a video on your Alan Franco being signed by CLTFC.
That's right. That's right. But yeah, so you're thinking 2-1, Mark, yeah?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, like Atlanta really should win this game. Dropping points would not be a good result. But I think it'll be tight. It's other teams have figured out how to frustrate Atlanta. It's something that Atlanta has to overcome. And with the players available right now, it's just gonna be tough. So somebody
to be playing you.
Exactly. Like I think other than Joseph, you'd probably have to watch out for maybe Marcelino Moreno if he starts, maybe Almada if he starts, but I doubt Almada will. And other than that, I mean, hell, you might see Dom Dwyer, in the starting lineup. You might see Brooks.
How at least for the Charlotte fans out there, we get our first goal in Atlanta and our first win, and that's forever in our history books, right? So,
I don't know about all of that, man.
Yeah. So I think it's gonna be.
We got a 30% chance. I'll take that.
I think it's
boring.
1-0 to Charlotte.
Record, and then we break our goal scoring and our wins in Atlanta.
Atlanta, bro. We will troll all your socials. Now, if we lose, none of this was being said is going to get edited out later. So after Sunday, this won't be here. So
we're live streaming it. What do you mean?
Yeah, we go back and
tactical manager who had me on his vlog at the end saying, "Oh, we're scoring 2-1, blah blah blah."
Yeah.
Hey, let me get my points in real quick before we get out, and y'all can do the rest of my soccer. But I do want to know one thing for sure. Someone please tell me what's up with the soccer players wearing the man sport bras. Where are those sport bras they wear to hold their?
They should have something in them, like a chip or something that talks about like how far they ran and all this other stuff, right?
So that because I remember hearing about the GPS system, but they're basically wearing them, which to me looks like a men's sports bra, but they're basically wearing them to have gear, whatever kind of technology on them to track all sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's so they can get back and analyze.
That's all over. That's in the European leagues. That's just standard gear now.
Yeah.
And in case they leave the stadium, we know where to find them too.
Yeah. That's right.
No, seriously, that's some newbie fan for me shit. I was like, what? That was such a great story, but with exchanging the jerseys and everything. But I was like, what are they wearing? I mean, I saw it from a distance. I never knew. So anyone else out there that was curious about that, that's it. It holds technology.
Was that your point? Any more questions out there before we wrap this up? This one kind of got a little long, but it's been fun. I think Roscoe kind of threw us all off. You know, hopefully the cars.
Who cranked me up?
Yeah. So, any other questions? I know I cut it off real quick when I asked that, so I have to give you guys a couple of seconds. So, but Mark, man, before we go, and if any questions come in, that's great. How can people find you?
You can find me at Nicholsodian, NICHOLLSODEON. That's me on Twitter and Instagram. And I regularly podcast with Atlanta United Fan TV. It's ATL UTD Fan TV. And you can also catch me on For the Culture. That's FTC UTD. I think I covered all of them for now. I guess you can find me here now.
That's it. Yeah.
And the best part is, if you didn't mention it, tomorrow when this comes back out again, we're going to tag you and whatever. We'll definitely put all that stuff up there.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, for sure. Top Ben, I'm sure everybody can find you, but just in case they don't know how to.
Yeah. Instagram, Top Ben 90, Twitter, Top Ben 90, Facebook, Top Ben 90, YouTube, Top Ben 90, TikTok, Real Top Ben 90. 3 of our 5 platforms that are over 1,000 subs now. So that's good. The next one we're working on is YouTube. To get that 1,000.
There you go. So if you haven't subscribed to him, go over the Top Ben 90 and do that. Doing some good stuff.
I'm start doing the vlogs. So start threatening people.
Oh yeah. So we should unsubscribe it so that way. Well, no, then you use the other content that doesn't need to be there.
Day ones. That's what I'm talking about, people. If you're thinking about it out there, I just want to reiterate that. Day ones. I mean, I was there, but I was only there because Lee asked me to be there. But Lee and Jorge, from day one when the team was named, they were there.
Yeah. I mean, you were there from day one too, JT.
I just said that, Lee. I was there because you invited me, though. I wouldn't have been there if you didn't say, "Hey, JT, show up with your camera and your crazy ass, damn it."
Yeah. So, all right, guys, man. Well, we appreciate you tuning in. If you haven't hit our sub button, it would be appreciated. We're at CLTFC Fan TV, and we appreciate it again, Mark. Man, thanks for coming on. We'll definitely sync up on Sunday. And Top Ben, it's always a pleasure, buddy. Appreciate you.
For the fans, by the fans, damn it.